Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today's Bridezilla Saturday, with the craziest wedding stories from across Reddit. Today's first post comes from Am I the Arsehole subreddit. Posted by Wedding So Many. Am I the arsehole for getting drunk and leaving my ex-girlfriend's wedding early? So me and this girl Sonia, we're both 27 now, dated for a couple years in college. Wonderful girl. She had the best taste in music, sense of humour, and was and is just the coolest person. I had to move across the country for grad school and broader work opportunities. That's the only reason we fell out of touch. But in the last couple months, we've been catching up. She called me out of the blue to let me know that she'd heard from one of our mutuals that I was living nearby, and it turns out she's the next day over. I caught up with her parents, met her fiancé Mark, and we all got along really well. They really wanted me to come to their wedding this July, so I did. After the important part of the wedding was over, you may kiss the bride, the vows, yada yada, I made sure to congratulate her and her man, and then I just went over to the open bar. I guess I was bored, or just not paying that much attention, because I had a lot of drinks. I was kind of wasted already, before the reception even got close to starting. So I took Sonia's dad aside and I told him I was leaving, and to tell the bride and groom I just didn't feel well. But Mark saw me and told me I had to stick around a bit longer and go to the reception because it's the best day of their lives. I wasn't thinking the clearest, so I was like, sure. Mistake. I was just sitting at the reception trying to eat like a normal person when I just started crying. I don't really cry that often, so I guess I have the alcohol to blame? I apologised and got out of there fast, but I know I must have made some kind of a scene because the next day I got a phone call from Mark saying I'd ruined their wedding and that I need to give Sonia and the rest of the family a formal apology in person. Sadly though, I've taken my yearly limit of humiliation, so I told him, how about no, and hung up. Sonia's not upset and doesn't consider her wedding ruined, but she thinks I should still apologise to Mark, just on principle, so we can continue getting along as we were, and that I did do something wrong technically by getting so drunk and leaving so early. While she's right on that end, I did do my time at the wedding, and the only thing that I could have potentially ruined was the reception, so I don't know. Am I the arsehole? Down in the comments, Angus Cable Jr. says, just so happened to get drunk? Just so happened to cry for no reason? What are you not telling us? Or yourself? This is why you don't randomly call exes out of the blue and invite them to your wedding. Our next story comes from Bubba's the Name. Groomzilla expects a $500 donation for his wedding. I grew up with a selfish cousin. He only helped out if he was benefiting from it. For example, if my car broke down, he wouldn't pick me up, unless I offered to pay him. If he was in the same situation, he'd say we're cousins, so I should help family out. I've never asked him for anything, since family should help one another out. He'd be the last person on my list if I or anyone else I know needed anything. When he comes over for family gatherings, he wouldn't bring anything to share, but he'd be the first person to take home 3 days worth of leftovers, without asking first. Now keep in mind, it was always me that reached out to say Merry Christmas, and not him. He'd reply, but never make any effort to initiate. Fast forward to yesterday, and he sends the family an invite via group chat that he's getting married. He said if we can't make it, to send $500 in place of attending. I couldn't help but laugh at this silly request. I replied with a laughing emoji and said it was a good joke. He didn't take too kindly to my response. He said he was serious and he expected his family to show up or give him $500. I'm not interested in keeping my relationship with him anymore. I left him on red, and I'm trying to come up with a witty way of saying F off without actually using those words. So here I am on Reddit, asking for your opinion on what I should reply back with. Edit, I'm not sure if he found this, or if someone told him he was being an ass, but he messaged me earlier to say, please donate what you can. Update, my wife convinced me that due to my mother's relationship with her brother, going nuclear would impact their relationship. I decided to reply directly to him with unsubscribe. It's been 24 hours and no response. Seems he thought his company was worth $500. I guess he was wrong. Posted by Leah's mama. Bride kicked me and my daughter out of her wedding party. Edit. I didn't realise stag and does were unusual in other places. This is a Canadian tradition, more specifically Ontario. So this happened a few years back. I was asked to be a bridesmaid in my friend's wedding. She also made a cute gift for my 5-year-old daughter, asking her to be a flower girl. We weren't particularly close friends, but we'd known each other for years. We both said yes. She decided she wanted to raise funds for her wedding. She wanted to buy a few big prizes and sell raffle tickets. I suggested a stag and doe. I think they're fun, but ultimately, I said I'd help with whatever she wanted. She held a meeting to decide who would do what and assign us tasks. We were asked to sell tickets for a stag and doe, donate a bowl of booze for the Wine Cooler Booze Prize, donate a prize for her stag and doe, and purchase a dress. I got a really nice bowl of vodka. It was nearly $100. A double drill set that was around $250. I got food she would serve her guests deeply discounted by a family member's work discount, and I ordered a bridal belt that she'd wanted. It was only $10, but still. I felt that I had met my bridesmaid obligations. She was going to be serving cold-cut sandwiches as a late-night snack at a stag and doe. My aunt works at a place that makes these kind of lunch meats, and I said I'd pick them up for her. They make platters that retail for about $100 each, and I got them for $20. We were told we could pick whatever dress we wanted, as long as it was a particular colour of blue. I chose one that was about $100 on a clearance rack, and she said absolutely not. It was strapless, and she was wearing a strapless dress, so I couldn't. She chose a different dress for me that was double the price, and I said I'd have to get it the following week. I was on maternity leave, and with half my income gone, I was on a strict budget. She said she'd pay the difference, but she wasn't happy about it. I really didn't care. I'd just given birth, and the other dress concealed my baby bump much better, and was within my budget. The dress she chose for me wasn't flattering at all. I'd offered to come help prepare for the stag and doe several times, but she turned down my offer every time. I had 3 girls at home, including a brand new infant, so I assumed that's why she didn't want my help. Finally, the day of the stag and doe came. I went to pick up the cold cut platters for my aunt, and I paid her $60 out of the ticket money I'd sold. The bride was stressing, and I asked how could I help. She was stressing about getting buns, so I said, no problem, I'll pick them up. She also had a bulk coffee order, and I volunteered my husband to pick those up. I fully expected to be reimbursed for the buns and the coffee. Just before the stag and doe started, after we were done setting up, I gave her the remaining tickets I hadn't sold, with an invoice for the meat I bought with her ticket sale money. I also told her the cost of the buns and the coffee, but I told her not to worry about it now. She can get me back later. She was pissed. She told me off, saying, do you know how much my brother has done? She really felt that I wasn't pulling my weight. The rest of her bridal party was her family. I had a horrible time at the stag and doe. I felt very used and actually sick to my stomach. I faked a smile and helped run games and raise money. The bride and groom didn't speak to me all night. As the night was ending, I asked my husband if he would stay and help clean up in my place. The next day, she messaged me. We went back and forth a bit, but then she ended up kicking both me and my daughter out of her wedding, and actually we were no longer even invited. The replacement bridesmaid wore the very same dress that I'd picked out and was in my budget. This was a friendship ender. My husband actually still went over the night before the wedding to help set up some lights. I'm still pissed that he would do any more to help that wedding. If she really wanted me to pay more, she should have waited until I was back at work, because it's not even like I wasn't willing to pay more. I just simply didn't have much disposable income at the time. I'd gotten her a really nice spa package as a bridal shower gift, so I really enjoyed pampering myself. Never, not once, have I ever missed her friendship. Our next video, posted by Snowpearl. Bride wrangles a specific gift/service out of me, and then micromanages how I execute it. Background info. I'm a fairly experienced 15+ years baker, and have made dessert spreads for friends' weddings. It started out when a close friend wanted a nice dessert buffet, but couldn't afford it. I offered to make the desserts she wanted, and she happily accepted, with the agreement that it'd be in lieu of a wedding present, and she and her fiancé would cover the cost of the ingredients. Since then, several friends have asked me for the same gift, and I've always agreed, mostly because it's fun for me, even though time, money, and labour-wise, it'd be cheaper for me to just buy a present. So back to the story. The son of one of my parents' best friends was getting married. I know the son, but we weren't super close. The bride's parents and my parents were in the same social circle, but I met the bride maybe twice in the past. I wasn't even expecting an invitation to the wedding. But the day after I received one, the bride called me up. Somehow she'd found out that I made dessert buffets for friends. And she told me that that was the wedding gift that she wanted from me. And she would send me her Pinterest board of ideas. Excuse me? I didn't even plan on going to the wedding. I told her I'd think about it. Yeah, big mistake on my part. But all of a sudden, everyone, including the groom, his parents, his future in-laws, and my own parents got involved and insisted that I do it. Grudgingly, I agreed. Another big mistake on my part. Holy hell, this girl was a bridezilla. She wanted champagne-level desserts, with champagne-level ingredients, all on a beer budget. I told her it wasn't possible to use all organic ingredients, and the fancy-ass Kerrygold butter she wanted wasn't organic anyways, with the budget she set for me. After finally convincing her that the ingredients don't have to come from Whole Foods to taste good, she moved on to obsessing over how I decorated the desserts. Normally, I work off of whatever colour palette the bride and groom chooses, and they give me free rein with the decorations. This girl wants specific colours for the cupcake liners, specific shapes for dessert glasses, and specific designs for the whipped cream topping. I bit my tongue and sucked it up. Surprisingly, it was the groom who told his fiancée to calm the F down after she freaked out that the vanilla creme brulee wouldn't have real vanilla beans in it. The desserts were a hit. Everyone thanked me profusely, and I vowed to never work for that woman again. Last I heard, she's pregnant and planning a baby shower. Not going to go into whether or not it's weird to throw a baby shower for yourself. All I know is I'm never picking up the phone for her husband, or their parents. Down in the comments, MobileGap7164 says, "You're too kind, OP. I'd have used the cheapest ingredients for that bitch." And if she'd called you out during the wedding, I'd tell her, "Weren't you trying to be cheap?" And it's not like she can request a refund. What's the worst that could happen? People stop demanding you do this for them? Our next story posted by Package Inside 3766. Am I a bridezilla? I've been engaged to my fiancé for 2 months, and the wedding is a year out. We're in the midst of planning, and we just decided on a dress code. We really wanted to go for black tie, but not everyone can afford to buy new clothes just for our wedding, so we changed the dress code. We decide preferably on pastels and light colours, dress pants and ties for men, and dresses for women. But if you feel comfortable in something else, that's fine. Just try and follow the colours. We mentioned a few things we'd prefer not to see. Red and white and jeans. That's it. That's the whole dress code. We thought it was pretty broad and people could find clothes within their budget or even their closets already. Well, this didn't go over too well. My grandmother, as well as my fiancé's grandmother, found this to be an outrageous demand because we can't control what they will wear. My grandmother has said that she'll wear a red dress that she has in her closet, or maybe even a white dress. Literally, the only 2 colours we asked everyone to avoid. My fiancé's grandmother has threatened to come in white as well, and has told me that I won't send her away if she does so, and that I won't tell her what she can and cannot wear. For me, it's not so much about the colours in the clothes, it's about respect. This is our wedding day, and I think we set pretty reasonable expectations for our ceremony guests. If they show up in white and red, they're just blatantly disregarding our wants for our wedding day. Would I be the bridezilla if I put my foot down and I told them that they'll be sent away if they show up in red or white? They live close enough to the venue to be able to go home and change and still make it in time for the ceremony. So the issue is with being told what to wear? Just tell them you've changed the dress code again, this time to suit the colour scheme. And now they have to wear white or red to your wedding, and you won't accept any other colour. They sound childish enough to not wear those colours if they're told they have to. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.